All right, and we're live with Maria and Christian from our engineering team who built out the Preference Center. Hello, everybody. My name is Shreya, and I am the host of the weekly workshop series called Decode, where we come here and we talk about notifications and how to build an awesome notification experience within your application. Maria and Christian, can you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves, your background, and what brought you here today? We'll start with Maria.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria. I'm an engineering manager here at Courier with our product engineering organization. And I'm here to talk about Preferences Center. A little bit about me is I started at Courier about 7 to 8 months ago. And I come from a background of building consumer products that actually have had notifications. And we have had to build in preferences as well. And I personally feel so passionate that Courier is doing this because I know the pain as a developer in the past of having to build this out myself. So I'm super excited, super passionate, and putting myself in the mind of the consumer, which is the dev persona itself. And excited to talk some more about that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Christian, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background and what got you here today?
Sure. My name is Christian Glassignol. I work here as a software engineer on sort of the product side of things. So worked on preferences for a while, basically since I started at the company around the same time as Maria. Now working on other fun projects coming out soon here at Courier. I built out, my own email and subscribing tools before, spent a lot of time trying to clean up my email inbox because it's just very annoying. And so preferences is a really nice feature, really fun to build, especially because, I felt the pain of trying to manage all that stuff. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And I mean, what would we do without you guys here building it out for us? I want to say thank you to Tejas and Maria for joining us. In the chat, Tejas said that he's going to add this intro music into his programming playlist. And honestly, that intro music is the only thing that wakes me up in the morning and gets me enough energy for this live stream. We were just talking about why is this so early in the morning? I don't know. I scheduled it, but whatever. And we also have Maria saying hi. Hi, Maria. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. So yeah, we can go ahead and dive right into it. Tell us a little bit about what Preferences is, what the Preference Center is, and what it meant for you to build out something like this. Why did you even get started with it?
Christian,
sure.
You want to go? I'm happy to add too.
So
you're really excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Courier as a company, we want to give you sort of all the tools you would ever need to manage anything related to notifications, and we want it to be something that anybody on your team is enabled to sort of go and do. So we built out preferences in a way where your PM could do it, your engineers could set it up, and it will, just sort of work out of the box and work the way that you expect it to. And we make it very easy to integrate into the rest of our application, so we, with our Preference Center, you can set up all your notifications, and then you can take that sort of setup that you have, integrate it into your notification templates, integrate it into the brand that you have, build out your own Preference Center yourself via our APIs. So we give you a lot of options to set it up, and we also give you very good ways to sort of see what your users are doing as well in terms of preference logging, in case you need that, with can't spam laws here in America, and with sort of other regulations around the world. It's very important to respect your users' notification preferences. You could potentially get fined for it, and we don't want you to ever run into those problems, being the people who are helping you set up your notifications. So that's sort of the idea behind preferences. Maria.
Yeah, and to add to that, that was a great overview. And to answer the question of what did it feel like to as we started building this out and why we kind of built it out. Obviously, Courier is a solution towards notifications infrastructure, and we want to make it easy for our customers to integrate notifications into their product with the least amount of engineering investment or resource investment as possible, so that our customers can focus on building their core product. And honestly, part of you can't have notifications and be able to engage with your our customers' users. Excuse me. I I have two Courier pigeons in my living room. If you hear them,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, we're better tasting them, and like testing them. So yeah. Anyway, so back to what I was saying was, preferences and notifications go together. You don't want to be annoying your users, and there's a higher chance of your users engaging with the product more if you give them the ability to have control over what they want to hear from you about or not. And honestly, it just establishes more trust. So it's kind of like a given. So then, Courier had a preferences solution before, but never like this, where you had a nice like built out UI where you can easily integrate it with your already created like notification templates and things like that. And it was honestly a joy to dedicate the couple months that we spent on this, Christian and I, and then one of our other colleagues, Suhas, towards the beginning, really thinking about what we wish we would have had when we had to have done this in the past ourselves as developers. And honestly, I'm really excited to go through it. And could be a no-code solution, could also be as customized as, like Christian mentioned, going through our APIs. So, yeah.
And Dennis too. Yeah, thank you so much,
And Dennis,
for
yes,
Dennis
our
for helping out with this project.
program manager.
You know what they say, when your users are happy, your engineers are happy. I don't know if they say that, but I'm saying it today.
Yeah.
And thank you, Dennis and Seth, for also joining us in the YouTube chat. Awesome. So let's go ahead. I feel like we're in the wilderness right now, and every time we hear like the little birds chirping in the background, if anyone's curious, they're the birds that actually send out your notifications. They like take a little,
exactly. They're really excited about Preferences Center.
They're very excited. Yeah, I love it. So if you've been with us before, we've been building on this really awesome e-commerce segment demo site that was given to us by the segment team. And today what we're going to do is talk a little bit about how we can take all of these events that are pulling in from the website as your users are engaging with it, and put them to use based off of, I don't know what I was going to say there, but basically start sending notifications that are a little bit more, better and smarter based off of what the users want to hear. So we also have Josh joining us in the chat. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm going to let you guys take it away. Maria and Christian, can you walk me through the process of getting up and ready with preferences within Courier?
Yeah, so I have a question for you, Shreya. What kind of notifications are you sending to your users right now with this e-commerce app?
That's a great question. So right now we sort of were ideating behind what anyone who's building an e-commerce website would want to build. And I think one workflow we worked on before with Seth in the segment live stream was when you have items in your cart and you want to kind of let your users know, hey, you have an item in your cart, or hey, you've like gone through your checkout process or something like that, right? Like you can build automations based off of those events.
Okay. So I think, yeah, that's a super common use case. And so I think what would be a perfect first case to cover is, are you already filing a segment event for when the user puts an item in their cart?
Yeah, so we can check it out. When a user adds an item to their cart, this is what happens over here. It says product added. Nice. And you're right, we actually do have a couple automations set up, so we can kind of zoom into these automations. This is checkout, and this is item added to cart. So this is the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. So awesome. I see that you have a new item added to cart template here. So perfect. You already did like 90% of the work. Now it's just that little bit to integrate it into preferences. So if you go to the designer sidebar, or your designer, go ahead.
Let me just open it in a new chat.
Yeah, of course. Yep. And if you see there's a third tab that says preferences.
Yep.
Okay. So when you're first taken to Preferences Center, we added some very common high-level subscription topics. So actually, Christian, You're very good at walking through the different like components of Preferences Center. You want to go
Sure.
do that?
Yeah, so we give you by default with a new workspace a few preference topics and then a default preference section. So sections are sort of the group of preference topics that you have, and then preference topics group together all of your notification templates. And with a preference section, it allows you to customize which channels your users are receiving notifications on. And then if you're one of our contract tier customers, we give you the ability to give your users the ability to select which channels they want to receive those notifications on themselves. With our topics, we sort of have three sets of defaults where you can either always receive the notifications, so having a required set of notifications, have notifications where your users have to manually opt in. So that's very good for things like marketing, where you don't want to spam your users with tons of notifications, but if they want to see marketing notifications, they can. And then we have just your general, this user will receive a notification by default, but they can turn it off. So that's our general notifications topic there. So, for things like adding items to your cart, maybe a user won't always want to see that notification. So we'll walk through what it's like to add that notification template to the marketing side of things. But with, a checkout, your user is always going to want to see when they check out and they've paid for something. So we'll walk through the process of adding that to our account notifications topic down there. And then with this sort of preference center, you get by default, if you click on preview page, you get your nice preference center that we make it very easy to integrate into your brand.
Ta-da!
As y'all have noticed, we have yet to go into any IDE, VS Code, or anything. Something we didn't mention in the beginning, a hosted page. Yeah. So every time you add a new topic, you're able to preview, and this is, we'll walk through later how you can link this hosted page into your notification templates, such that if your users get an email, they can click onto that link and be taken to what we're calling the Preferences Center.
I love this, and it's so easy to use. Especially for the end user, we were talking a little bit about how this is really just about making your users experience a lot easier, and a lot faster in terms of just managing notifications. Like, I don't want to have to go click on like 5 different links and be like, oh, okay, I want this type of notification. What is a general notification? What is marketing? Like, these are very easy to understand and intuitive, and it's very easy to understand that, like, if I click on this once, I'm opted out. If I click on this twice, I'm back in, and that this is required. So no matter how hard I try, I can't get out of getting my account notifications.
Yeah. And you see, we have our Courier branding all nice and posted on there, but all of this branding is customizable through our, like brands sort of product. And with that, it will like automatically customize the page. You don't have to go and like say, I want this page to be customized in this way, do even more work. We just like by default, it will take whatever default brand you have. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, this is the part of the brand that you can change. This is not part of the brand that you can change. This is something that's part of the free tier. And it's going to be there, right? Awesome.
Yep. So we give you the ability to customize what that footer looks like. If you give us money.
Giving us the cash. Awesome. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about this page specifically, because this is where we'd want our engineers and our product managers to land and be able to manage notification topics and everything, as you were talking about. What is the process to decide, or just you let me know how to navigate this?
Okay, so we were talking about linking your new item added to cart to a topic, and Christian mentioned, I think that's a good use case for marketing. So if you go into that marketing topic, you click on the little pencil on the right hand side. Yep. And then here you have the topic configuration screen. And here you can decide if you want to rename it. Let's say yes, Kazooie agrees. The default topic name doesn't work for you. You can go ahead and change it to item marketing. I don't know, marketing.
Yeah, we could, like, for example, put newsletters or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then if you go into link notifications on the left-hand side, there's a different tab there. Okay, So here's where you're actually going to add the notifications you want to fall under the subscription topic umbrella. So as you can see here, new item added to cart. Sounds like, I think your workspace has a hacker, because they linked that template already to a different topic here saying general notifications. So you're not only able to link fresh new templates to a topic, but if a notification is already linked to a different topic, it already tells you, hey, this is linked to a different one, but you can still like switch it over easily via the same screen. So let's go ahead and move this new item added to cart. So if you click it.
New item added.
Yep.
Well, this is newsletter, so I'm gonna click on the newsletter one. Is that okay?
Oh, I thought we were
The
going to do marketing.
email.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah, let's do newsletter. And then you save that.
Awesome. I do like the fact that it sort of just like labeled that the other one was already in general, so that I don't have to like think about, oh my God, which notifications do I want in here? Which ones do I not want?
Exactly.
Also, Dennis is in the chat saying, ain't no hacker. That's just how good Courier is. And actually, I'll have to admit that was me going in before the live stream and just like playing around and making sure things were good.
that was me making a joke. Yeah, this is totally an organic.
I love how Dennis is so excited about Courier. He's just like, that's just how good Courier is.
Courier can read your mind and knows what you need. That's a feature. Okay, so yeah, we have this newsletter email linked to your topic. Now, you will need to publish your changes. So let's go ahead and make sure that goes in. So as easy as that, now that page is live and in production. So let's trigger that newsletter email.
Do we?
Awesome.
Do you have a use case?
Do we also want to finish setting up adding like the checkout to cart to the?
I have a bunch of.
Do we want to do that
stuff here? So,
but Shreya's the client here, so
yeah,
you need to let us know
what you need a little bit. I think we already have newsletters. We know that. There's order confirmation, which I guess is more of like a required one, right? So can we talk a little bit about the difference between having something that's default on, having something that's default off, and having a required default? What does that mean?
Yeah, so default required just means that by default that notification like a user has to receive it. They're unable to opt out of it. So we'll say by default that notification is required for a user to be received. Default off means that a user can opt into it. So by default, a user will not receive that notification unless they say that they want to receive it. And then default on just means that they will they'll receive the notification until they opt out of it. When you create a topic by default, we set the default state to on. So by default, your user will receive the notification unless they opt out of it. It's a lot of default.
Awesome. So I've just sort of like categorized them. I don't even remember if I categorized them correctly. But the main thing is that if we have our little order confirmation here, that's linked in required. So regardless of what the user decides, they're going to get this email, versus if they have the ability to manage notifications before they get that email, or at any point, they're never going to get something like new items added to cart or reminder to purchase if they've turned general notifications specifically off. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and publish these changes, and I really just want to see this in action. We know what this preview page looks like. Can you tell us a little bit about how, like, the person who's sending the notification, whether that's the engineer, whether it's a designer on their team, how would they go about making sure that the user can manage their notifications within the actual email that they're getting?
Yeah, so there's sort of two ways to do it, but the best way is just integrating into one of your brands a link that says like manage your preferences. It's like every user has probably seen it a million times before in every email that they get, that little link that says unsubscribe or manage your preferences. So if you go to your brand.
Okay.
Over there.
I'm gonna head to my brands.
And then we can hop into my first brand. And so all the styling, by the way, for your hosted page comes from this default brand that you set. But we can go into this footer, we can click on edit, footer content, and social icons. And then we can type in manage your preferences.
Manage preferences. Oh, I don't know what I did. Oh yeah, okay, it's good.
Should be good. And then I would actually hop over to our documentation quickly. There's actually a really great on that I want to highlight.
And we'll go ahead and send the link to our docs in the chat as well.
Yeah.
And I see preferences right here.
Sweet. So we have, I think, a use case guide. If you check there,
should
be, oh no, not under there. Where is it? There's a guide somewhere in there in the deep forest of our documentation. Allows you to add a host. If you click on like maybe hosted page, it will be.
Let's click on hosted page. And this is about how you can add it directly within a notification. We're thinking about brands. Oh, this part over here. Awesome.
Yeah. Fortunately, it all works the same way. So that little, it says in the hyperlink modal, add, that specific string.
So this string is to link these words or any words that however you want to call it to the manage preferences page that we saw earlier as a preview. Awesome.
So yeah, Courier will do all the job of like filling in that notification link as an actual link. We also have link tracking as well. So you can see like if the users clicked on that or not. For now, we can
clicking on it would disable it. So we'll leave that over here. A quick question while we're on this, is there a way to maybe just do like an unsubscribe, or is managed preferences the only thing we can do?
Yeah, so there's a way to add an unsubscribe link. It's the same process. The string that you have to save is a little bit different. It's .unsubscribe instead of .preferences. And then if you need to find that, you can always Google like Courier unsubscribe link. It's like we have good SEO, so it's the first thing that pops up.
We have good SEO. Yeah. Thanks, Micah and Maria. Awesome. And I want to also mention that, as Christian was saying, you don't have to just do this from the brand, although doing it from the brand is probably a really good idea. And I wish I thought of that yesterday. But you can also do it within the actual designer. And that's what I did when we were sort of preparing. I went in and I got really excited about buttons within the template editor, and I added a manage preference button to all of them. So what you're going to see now is that these emails have the button and they have the manage preferences footer in the footer that Christian just told us to build. And this is like an easy fix. We can just delete it. I'm not going to delete it from all of our examples, but I'll delete it from the first one that we're seeing over here. Really quickly, we have our automation that says product added. It's published. It's ready to go. Can we try to see this in action now?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and add something to cart. And since I've added 2 items to cart, this was already there before. Ideally, stuff, I should have gotten 2 emails. I was going to say stuff should show up. That's not a very good way of describing this experience.
Stuff will always show up.
Stuff will always show up. And so, yeah, I got 2 emails. You can see them over here, both sent around the same exact time. And
do you want to see them in your inbox?
Absolutely. Let's see. We have, this is an old email, and then this is 1023, the ones that we just got it. Got it. I can't talk today. I don't know what's going on.
So Shreya, hold on a sec. If you go back to that email, you can. If you go back to that email, not the one from 941.
Oh, not the one from the other one. Yes.
Yeah. You're just shopping all day, every day. I love that.
That's all I've been doing.
All right. Okay. So as you can see here, the brand footer has that link that Christian walked you through how to set up. So if you click on it as a user, got a notification. I am so annoyed. I don't want to get an email every time I add an item to cart. And so if you, let's say you want to opt out of the general notifications, this wasn't a newsletter, just opt out of that. And you want to continue shopping.
Yeah. I don't want to get an email every single time I add something to cart. So I'm going to add a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to get 4 emails for that. So let's see what that looks like in the logs. Okay.
Ooh.
There's a question mark.
What does that mean? This is great.
Yeah, I know. Why is it great? Yeah, you have opted out of that notification. You're not, or these kinds of notifications. So you're not going to get any more. So you can continue shopping. You're
Nice.
usually, yeah.
I always love demoing the logs when we're trying to show something that's supposed to get an error, because it feels like there should be like this big like event, but it's just like, oh, it didn't go through. Okay, cool. Which is what we expected. But
Well, I think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of shows the responsiveness of our product. Like, we not only show the consumer side, but we show like, hey, you'll be able to see all these things within your Courier dashboard as well. So
Yeah.
great.
And Tay just said that that's what you really need when you do too much shopping. Exactly. What do you mean
Exactly.
too much? I feel like there's a hint of
There's
judgment
no
in
too
there.
much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was really fast. Is there anything else that we want to show off? Anything else we can do? I think we have another automation
I'm
over
trying
here,
to
right?
think.
Let's check out an item, and we'll just show sort of that flow there as well, that you'll always receive that notification.
Sweet. I'm going to check out all these items. I'm going to go ahead and check out as guest. Keep in mind that this is a demo app, so none of this actually works. I can just go ahead and pay, and it's not going to ask me for any money.
So
And
all
I wish
of that for $20?
Yeah. I wish every
stuff.
shopping experience was like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
you should see, so that automation should have kicked in, and we should have sent you an email.
so we have an automation from that time, and it had a delay of 1 minute. So that's good sign that we don't have an email just yet.
Yeah. Also, if you ever want to know how anything about automations works, I think we did a previous live stream, right, Shreya, with our fabulous CTO, Seth. I'm sure that was a very good time. A little bit of that. So automations
While
is
we're on the
fantastic.
Seth hype train, we actually also have a podcast that was just released like yesterday, I think, with Seth and Ben, where they talk about automations and segment and how that entire ecosystem works.
Yeah.
So, and to shout out segment a little bit more, like, you have segment, you can easily integrate your notifications. And now with Preferences Center, like, again, I want to highlight, we have not gone into any code editor, and we got up and running in 20 minutes with a very thorough explanation of Preferences Center. So imagine you going through this on your own, and even less time, you can already get this up and running. So that is just like super exciting. And I'm sorry, I'm going to pat Courier on the back for this one.
You absolutely should. I mean, this is a really big feat. And as an engineer that's working on a regular product, you never want to have to go out and build something like this from scratch, right? Like, this is not what you're trying to build. If you're building an e-commerce website, you want to focus on the e-commerce aspect of it. I can't talk today at all. You don't want to have to focus on like preference notifications, but you can give your users a really awesome experience.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I got this email, or at least I should have gotten this email, and I can go back into my inbox and see that I didn't get those 4 item added emails, but I did get my order confirmation, which is fantastic. And this has 2 links because I didn't edit the template, but you guys are smarter than I am, so you'll make sure not to do that.
So, if the user ever says, I got a notification, I thought I unsubscribed from it, and they're very frustrated, if you want, we can go over to the users page and check out user preference logs, and it lets you sort of see if your users actually unsubscribed from something, or if they, just thought they did and they haven't yet. It's very useful for support stuff, especially, if your user ever files like a GDPR, or not GDPR, a CAN spam complaint, that saves you a lot in fees. For that.
Where did you tell me to go? I think I missed it.
Yep. So each user, in the users page, I think the Courier test user. So you see that third tab there is preference log. So you can see your user opting out of notifications, what time they did it at, what topic they did the sort of opting in and opting out on. And that's just like a really great way to say, like, okay, you were actually subscribed to this notification at this time, you unsubscribed afterwards, so that's why you got an email. And make sure you go and unsubscribe.
This is awesome. I didn't know this existed. Oh my God, this is great. Okay.
Surprise.
I love this. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else that we want to demo? Anything else you want to say about preferences?
we're really excited for our customers to start using it, and look forward to hearing feedback and hearing how we can make it that much easier for you guys. So thanks for everyone for tuning in, and yeah, I expect a lot of karma for this. I'm kidding. All right. All right.
Dennis said the same thing. I didn't even know we had the preferences log, but that is really awesome. So yeah, is there anything else that you want to say?
Go check out, obviously sign up for Courier. When you do, you get like all these like very nice things by default. It will make preferences very easy to set up. Our onboarding is pretty good. So like getting your first notification sent will be pretty quick as well. We have like a really cool Gmail integration that's good for testing. But it allows you to like send emails very quickly. Documentation as well. We put, some effort into that to make sure it's like really easy to understand, really easy to get up and running. We'll probably put more effort into that stuff as well. But yeah, if you have any questions, we have really good support people. And obviously it's very easy to reach us as well as engineers. We try to keep track.
Shout out to Rod.
Yeah, shout out to Rod. Rod is a hero. But we also try to keep track as engineers of like tickets that come through. So it will probably be very easy to reach Maria or me, or sort of any of the engineers who have worked on preferences, so we can answer.
Yeah, we're definitely always open for feedback and hearing if things aren't working. And I want to plug Dennis because I feel really bad for not adding him. I'm always thanking him like in internal meetings, and then the one live stream we do publicly. Dennis is our product manager, collaborating with us on preferences, and yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do it without him as well. So yay.
Dennis is the best. And honestly, I think we were talking a little bit about this when we were discussing the podcast that's going to come out next week. But our engineers, they sort of you guys have this mentality of believing that you're part of your customer's team. And I think that's what sort of takes Courier at the next level too, where it's not just that we're providing a product or just the support, but we're actually providing our engineers time as well, not just to make sure that Courier is successful, but that it like successfully integrates into your applications. And on that note, that's all we have today for preferences. Go check out the documentation. Let us know what you think. As Maria and Christian said, thank you guys so much for joining us, Maria and Christian. You guys are amazing. You've built out such an awesome product, and I'm excited to see how people are using it. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.